Week in the Internet, the series where I talk about all the topics I missed during the week. And first up, we have EA considering adding ads to games. Now, this isn't surprising for EA because it's EA. When would they pass up an opportunity to make more money? And of course, I'm not happy about it. I'd rather not have ads in my games. I already bought the full game. And yes, they do plan to do this with fully priced games because it's EA. What else are they gonna do? Now, I don't think they're gonna put ads in games like Battlefield because I think the players would like not buy the game. But they're probably gonna put ads in sports games. Mainly because sports games already do it, and you probably didn't know that because you don't play sports games. NBA 2K already puts ads in the game. Like actual ads. I don't know what it is about sports fans, but they don't care about getting screwed over at all. Sports fans will gamble away their life savings on DraftKings and still support the company. But putting advertisements in games is not a new thing. Doing it the way that EA wants to do it, which is just like a full-blown video ad, is kind of new. But as I said, NBA 2K has done it. But advertising in games in general is not that abnormal. You see them all the time, you just don't really notice it. This goes for movies too. If you see a product, like a real product, in a movie or TV show, it is probably sponsored advertising. Like every time you see a specific car brand in a movie, that is pretty much guaranteed an ad. But I don't think any ad should be in a video game if it's fully priced. At this point, I don't even understand why they're charging money for these games. I swear to God, EA, you'd make more money if you just made Madden free and just monetized it to utter shit. But I don't think any fully priced game should have advertisements. And if a game does have ads, I encourage you not to buy it because you should not feed into this because if you do, they're gonna make it more prominent. And what's even crazier about this is in 2020, EA accidentally put ads in UFC 4. And they definitely did it then to see if they could get away with it. There's no chance this was by accident, okay? They've been planning this for a long time. So if you don't want ads in your games, don't buy anything with ads in it. If they make any profit off of games with ads, they're gonna keep doing it. So I highly encourage you not to buy games with ads in them. There are plenty of other options. If you like sports games, you can try golf with your friends. That's a sports game. All right, next up we have Hades 2. And Hades 2 silently dropped on Steam with no announcement or anything. And it somehow managed to get over 100,000 peak players. Hades 2 is a single player game. That is insane for a silent drop and the fact that it's only single player. Like these people are just playing by themselves. And 100,000 of them did it on launch day when the game silently dropped. That's crazy impressive. Now the game mostly has positive reviews. I have seen a few complaints on Twitter, but nothing major. And Hades 2 was good. I barely played it, but it was good for like the 30 minutes I played it. It just wasn't my type of game. But I do think silently dropping games is going to become somewhat normal for certain games because this tactic is arguably more effective than just announcing the game and releasing it. Because if an indie game is a certain level of popularity, it spreads by word of mouth so fast. I had multiple people DMing me that this game just silently dropped on Steam and they didn't even play Hades. They were just shocked they silently dropped the game. So I definitely see this tactic being used more in the future because Content Warning also did the same thing. And Content Warning was also free for the first 24 hours. And it's multiplayer. So if your friends got it for free, you have to spend the $8 if you want to play with them, right? It is a very good tactic that doesn't really hurt anybody because people are getting the game for free and then yeah, you miss out and get the game for free. But it's $8. You really can't be mad. But next up, we have Activision Blizzard losing a patent lawsuit for $24 million. And this patent lawsuit went on for 9 years. And I tried to find out what the patent was for, but nowhere listed what this thing was. The patent that was under question was something for simultaneously sharing of information in multiplayer games. And the technology was used in World of Warcraft, Black Ops 3, and COD Advanced Warfare. And the game list doesn't help at all because one of those 3 games have in common besides falling off. And the company that sued Blizzard for the patent infractions is called Acceleration Bay, and I have no idea who they are. But then I found out that that company, Acceleration Bay, initially acquired the patents from Boeing, the company that has the planes that fall out of the sky. So this patent lawsuit was over a patent that was used in World of Warcraft, Black Ops 3, and COD Advanced Warfare. And the current owner bought it from Boeing. And all it says is simultaneously sharing of information. What is this patent that World of Warcraft, Black Ops 3, and COD Advanced Warfare all use and that Boeing owned? What is it? I guess we'll never know, but Blizzard did lose $24 million, so I guess it's a good thing. And next up, we have the horrific Apple ad. This ad is such a non-issue. I genuinely question if anybody who got upset by it is okay. If you don't know, because actually it'd be insane if you did, it's an ad of a hydraulic press crushing a bunch of things, like arcade machines, music, toys, stuff like that. The obvious interpretation of the ad is you're crushing all of this stuff into a really thin form factor to make the iPad. That is the obviously correct interpretation of the ad. Apple said so. But people, for some reason, saw this advertisement and was like, oh my God, this represents Apple crushing everything I hold dear. Like, what is wrong with you? How did you miss the point? I'm so confused. How is that your interpretation of this ad from Apple, but you don't just see the whole company that way. Apple is the evil corporation. They have a big circle headquarters in California. They changed their logo from a rainbow to black and white. Every device they have is locked down so you can't do anything on it. And overall, their brand is the most neutral thing you can imagine. Like, they are the evil corpo you're thinking about. And they're currently being sued for allegedly engaging in anti-competitive practices. Why is this ad the reason you suddenly think Apple is against you? They've always been against you. I am actually so confused how people saw this ad and didn't immediately understand, like, what it was trying to say. I also saw a lot of people say, like, oh my God, I can't believe they crushed all this stuff. Like, they're crushing perfectly good things. And it's like, yeah, they are. But it's like, do you know how much random stuff just gets thrown away and, like, burned or exploded all the time? Like, it doesn't really matter. The only reason you care right now is because you're seeing it happen. But as I'm talking right now, 10 arcade machine just got set in fire. So, like, yeah, it doesn't really change anything. I get the interpretation of Apple is crushing everything I hold dear to my heart. I understand that interpretation. It's just wrong. And on the topic of Apple, ChatGPT on the iPhone. There are no clear details on if this is going to be implemented or not, but it's looking like it probably will be. And this probably also means Siri won't be stupid at the very least. There's not many details on what they'll do besides that, and it still might not go through. This deal is totally up in the air, basically. All we really know is that they're in talks, and it's more likely to happen than not happen, but it also still might not happen. Either way, Siri might actually become smart and not continue to be stupid like she currently is. And next up, we have Phil Spencer getting nuked in Fallout 76, and I think he deserved it. That is pretty much all I have to say about this. And next up, we have more Helldivers 2 news. And it's not good news. So Sony did lift the PSN requirement for Helldivers 2. That's no longer a thing. So you're not required to sign into PSN to play Helldivers 2. But for some reason, it's still region locked. The almost 200 countries that got barred from playing the game initially still can't play. And no one knows why. We know that it's Sony still region locking the game, but we don't know why they're doing it. Because they removed the PSN requirement. And Arrowhead Studios also doesn't know why they're doing it. Because we had Valve confirm that it wasn't them doing it. But there's no reason not to sell the game in those regions because it's already been sold there. And PSN is no longer required. So I don't know why, as Sony, you'd want to lose players just because they're not on PSN when it doesn't even require it anymore. It's just a really weird situation. And to make it even weirder, Valve has started issuing refunds for Ghost of Tsushima because Sony has made a new region lock for the game. You have to use PSN to play Ghost of Tsushima because there's some multiplayer components. Now, I think this is insane. Sony, why are you retroactively making it so people can't buy or play your game? Why is this a thing? Especially Ghost of Tsushima? That game is primarily single player. Most people are never going to play the multiplayer on it. Why? Why are you region locking it? I don't understand. Like, the last week, it's just been Sony and Xbox battling it out to see who's worse. I just really hope Sony figures out their stuff because it is ridiculous that people are buying these games and just can't play them because Sony artificially said no. That's insane. Like, why do you hate money, Sony? Are you stupid? And next up, we do have something stupid. Nintendo has dropped support for Twitter on the Switch. And this isn't stupid because of Nintendo. This is stupid because of Twitter. Because the only reason Nintendo has dropped Twitter support from the Switch is because the API costs $42,000 a month minimum. Why would anyone in their right mind pay that? And Elon Musk, in his infinite wisdom, just somehow forgot that social media platforms work because people are social and communicate on them. I guess he didn't think about the fact that people don't want to pay $42,000 to a dead company. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe. New follow me on Twitter @spatnz. One click answer, check out more of my content, and have a good one.